A young man is playing a game on his phone as he waits for the only elevator at his apartment building. It eventually arrives and the doors slowly open. With his attention solely focused on his game, he enters the cabin without lifting his head. He presses the button for the lobby, and the elevator begins its descent. Moments later, it stops at a lower floor. The doors open to an unusually dark, empty corridor, but no one can be seen waiting in the hallway. Seconds later, the doors shut close, and the elevator continues moving downwards. However, he notices the air in the cabin feels colder, and more stifling compared to before. It passes a couple more stories and it stops again. The doors open and reveal another long, dark, empty corridor with nobody waiting. The young man begins to feel annoyed, thinking his neighbors are wasting his time by wanting an elevator they are not actually using. The doors shut close again, and the cabin resumes moving downwards. Inexplicably, the young man senses the air inside has grown even colder, and the atmosphere itself feels even more compressed than a moment earlier. He says to himself,
"Maybe I need a coat."
Suddenly, the elevator stops once again. The doors open and the cabin is greeted with yet another long, dark, and empty corridor once more. He grows more agitated and yells out into the hallway,
"Stop wasting my time or I'm coming after all of you."
The doors slowly shut close and the journey downwards continues. The young man notices the temperature inside has dropped even more significantly while the air grows thicker and more smothering. The elevator abruptly stops again. He has become very angry about these repeated, meaningless stops. The doors slide open as he yells,
"You assholes!"
Only this time there are actual people waiting, and they are all shocked. Embarrassed, the young man apologizes and explains for his behavior. While he's speaking, the old man suddenly says,
"Son, I think you should step out of the elevator to talk to us."
Although he feels apologetic, he finds the old man's request unreasonable.
"I'm sorry, but why don't you all step inside and we'll ride down together?"
Meanwhile, the young child leans into her mother and looks horrified.
"Hey, I really think you should step out from the elevator and speak with us."
Unbeknownst to what's behind him, the young man feels confused. But before he could answer,
"Get out!"
the doors close before him. The cabin begins to travel downwards again, and the young man notices the temperature inside is becoming colder and colder, while the atmosphere grows more and more suffocating. As the cabin slowly reaches the lobby, he readies himself to step outside. But the elevator doesn't stop. It continues to travel downwards. He presses the lobby button repeatedly, but nothing happens, and the elevator travels deeper and deeper into the ground. Horrified and panicked, he starts yelling for help at the top of his lungs.
"Help! Help! Somebody!"
The only response he receives, however, is the continuous downward movement of the elevator.
"Help!"
A lifetime has seemingly passed, but the elevator finally stops abruptly. The young man is extremely eager to get out as the doors slide open slowly. But he isn't at the lobby. Instead, he is greeted by the bone-freezing cold, and the putrid smell of rotting flesh. He senses nothing beyond the elevator doors. There is no light, no walls, no ground, and no sky. It is eerily quiet, except for the faint, strange echoes stemming from the void beyond. Suddenly, the beings start to exit the elevator. He feels a stream of icy cold air moves through his body as they walk through him and into the void. One of them turns around and looks at him, signaling him to join them. The young man refuses and pounds on all the elevator buttons in fear.
"It is too late for you."
Do you ride elevators often? I hope you think of this story whenever you are using one. Do subscribe, like, comment, and share if you would like to hear more horror stories. Thank you for joining us. This is Dorian. Until next time.